And welcome back to Profile Pod TV. I'm your host, Double A, back for another spectacular episode of the pod. Thank you so much for tuning in wherever you're tuning in from. If you're on Roku, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Social Nostra, IGTV, audio platforms, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you here. And it's always a pleasure being a host of this podcast, of this platform, because this is the platform where we bring on individuals who are doing extraordinary things to inspire the human spirit. And I mentioned Social Nostra. Social Nostra is a fresh new network with talented creators and shows on Roku and Instagram. So go check them out again on Roku, Instagram, YouTube, all the major platforms. So with that being said, don't forget to subscribe to Profile Pod TV on YouTube. Click on that purple logo there at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and you will have subscribed to an excellent podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Leave me a rate and review on Apple Podcasts. Tell me how much you love the podcast, how much constructive criticism. It's all good, ladies and gentlemen. You know the deal. And so with all that being said, once again, I appreciate you being here and appreciate all the support from everybody with the likes, the follows, the sharing of the content on Instagram. I really can't emphasize enough how much I appreciate that. So without an audience, there is no podcast, there's no show, there's nothing. So that's something I don't ever forget and won't ever forget. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest in the house tonight. This young lady hails from the great state of Georgia, Atlanta, GA to be exact. She is a comedian, she's a podcaster, she's an influencer, she's doing a lot of big things. She's been in the game now for several years, and we're going to get to the bottom of what she's up to now. And ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on Profile Pod TV, please welcome the one and only comedian, Kendra Crump. How are you, Kendra?
Yes, I had to do a little hand clap for that introduction, and everything else. My ADHD kicked in. I said, Kendra, stay awake, stay with it. He's about to bring you on in a second. I'm like, okay, all right, great. It's my turn to shine. Okay, but thank you so much for having me. I didn't believe this month. Like I was on his Section 8 waiting list for a couple months, and we finally got here. I didn't think this day was gonna come. I'm like, shoot, the day is coming. It's a couple days from now. All right, I made it.
The Section 8 waiting list. I love that. I love it. No, Kendra, no, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you reaching out all the way from Atlanta, and it's always fun to talk to people who are, out of my local area. Here in the greater Los Angeles, Southern California area, it's a lot of fun. I know you've been, you're so busy nowadays doing your thing, and I was watching your videos, and tell us a little bit about what you do. And how long you've been in the game now. I think I want to say 2016 is when you kind of started doing your thing as a comedian.
Y'all, let me tell you how professional y'all's favorite host is, okay? He does his research before deciding to blindly bring someone on, because a lot of people will ask you the same questions over and over again without getting to figure out who the hell am I talking to. So yes, he's correct. 2016. Via Snapchat I was in college, my junior year of school, and I remember having multiple people say, you are hilarious. Like, I had kids tell me I was funny. And it's 3 things that don't lie. It's children, a drunk man, and leggings. Okay.
Yep.
And so with those 3 things, I said, let me go ahead and just go for it, and I said, start off Snapchat. And I was like, at the time, my comedy was like Lil' Kim's hardcore album, which actually I wrote some of her lyrics, which, for whatever reason, we beefing. So that's why my name was never on the credits. So that's, it's been a 25-year-old beef. Back to the story. So I said, let me go ahead and import my videos from Snapchat to IG, late 2017, early 2018. And I said, let me jump on people's podcasts, because podcasting is the new radio. And I literally have been on 700 podcasts at least at this point. Probably before the year is over, it's gonna hit 1,000. You know, I be out here working. Okay, that's what I'm talking. I don't look. I'm trying to make it out. You know where I'm at, so I can be away from civilization. I'm trying to be actually at since you live in Cali. Yeah, I think these two people, they should still live in Cali. I'm trying to be at Rapper the Game and Nelly's house. You know, we can be in a bridge house because I'm in a poly relationship with them. You know,
you're the baby mama too, right? Of Nelly or what?
Hey, listen, I can be both. Whoever's child comes, listen, we're gonna do the DNA test. I don't know whose baby it is. That's it. We made the best man win. Whoever sperm made it there first.
That's right. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. You've only been on 700 podcasts, Kendra. That's it. I mean,
October 2020. Well, listen, man, I'm trying to get on 700 more, but you got like 70,000 listeners because you just popping like that. So yeah, I'm about to get on a lot more people's podcasts. Just wait. I'm trying to make it a Joe Rogan, but he ain't answering. So let me just start with the regular people who are better than Joe Rogan, but they just ain't made it there yet. So there it is.
I love it. No, Kendra, I love your hustle. I love your energy. I love everything that you're doing because that inspires me. And I always say it every week, Kendra. I come on here and I talk to someone, I bring on a guest who's doing stuff that's inspirational, man. And I feed off of that. It inspires me, it motivates me. And it's for me, it's like cheating, because I get to inject, wisdom and energy and love every single week, man. It's a beautiful thing doing this podcast. And you started your podcast in 2019 in July, right? With Lance.
Yeah, my homeboy Lance. Shout out to Lance.
What's up with Lance?
Lance is nowhere to be found, man. I have not seen this man since like probably in some months. He done had a little girlfriend. Now forgot about his day one. Brother, I was here before her. Okay. And that's why y'all ain't together no more. So jokes are back on you. But anyway.
But are you guys still doing the podcast together?
Lance will pop up whenever he can. And that's literally every now and again. Last time I actually did a podcast with Lance was November 2020. That was the last time, but I was trying to get more of him, but he, like I said, he started work and then, life kind of happened with him. But yeah, that's the thing about starting a business with somebody. You are either one person's going to be more dedicated than the next person, so no, it's all G. It's all G. That's all I can say about that. But he'll send me voice notes, checking on me. That's still my bud. He's hilarious and everything else, but it's okay.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's you brought up a few good points there. Starting a business with somebody. I think that's why I've been solo, for thus far. It says I can rely on myself, right? But
yeah, that's it. For a fact, if you gonna say that you're gonna start at 8 p.m., you know for a fact I'm gonna start there at 8 p.m. You don't have to worry about nobody being late. You don't have to worry about the other stuff that comes with it. That's why I always ride solo. Whenever I've been to 18 states, right? I like road trips, and typically what I do is I always do a road trip by myself. I've done a family road trip when I was like 14, but at the same time, I don't have time to wait on nobody. If I decide to leave, by a certain time, that's pretty much what it is. Like I like being a loner in this sense.
That is, well, Kendra, you're an individual after my own heart, because I went to Hawaii by myself. I went to New York City by myself. And I find I've always been kind of that loner. I've always been, and when I was younger, I used to think something was wrong with me. It's like something was like, I was like, no, man, that's just who I am. That's what God made me who I am.
I was gonna say that's it's nothing wrong with that. Like I call myself an enigma, and so with that being said, I definitely I had to come to terms with this is how God has created me. And once you come to terms about that, then it's up from there.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a beautiful thing. Kendra, what going back to let's talk about your podcast a little bit, with well, before you even get into that, man, like I was saying earlier, man, what I like about you is just like, it just seems like I know there's three things that you just don't talk about. There's three topics. And that was rape, molestation, and pedophilia.
And that's correct.
And I admire that, but other than that, man, with that being said, my point is that you're just like game for anything, man. I love your straightforwardness. There's no BSing. Your style is just your comedic style is just like in your face. But where does that come from, Kendra? Have you always been? How much is that is Kendra, and how much of that is just kind of your performance, or do you kind of intertwine them together?
Talk a little bit about that. It's 95% me, the other 5% performance. And a lot of times I don't try. I just sit here. My mama always taught me to think before I spoke, and I never listened to her. So with that being said, I just decide to say what comes to my mind, and I hope people laugh. And if they don't, try again. You know, that's the thing about comedy. You can just keep on trying until you get it right and make people laugh and everything else like that. So that's pretty much where I'm at with that. I just said, hey, let me just do it like Nike, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. No, you're right. That's the one thing that I like what you said. You said in one of your interviews that God didn't give us the spirit of fear.
Yeah, he didn't give us a spirit of fear. And a lot of times fear, and that's in 1 Timothy for all the ones that want to know where that's at, you know, but a lot of times fear is what keeps people held back, man. I used to be afraid of not saying that, of not speaking my truth and not telling when I need to tell someone, because that whole snitches get stitches, right? Mm-hmm. But there are some people who need to be told on. There are some people that need to be, exposed. That's why on my podcast, the Kendra Crump Show podcast, I have a segment called What Would You Like to Ban? BAN. So for example, I want to ban people who park over the line, right? And I ban podcasters who are unprofessional. So again, I do that. It's like a Yelp review. Okay. I sit here and I let people know, do not work with this person, because guess what? They're going to do it to me. They're going to do it to you as well. And you can't say, well, you didn't know. All right. I let people know, man, this podcast is going to charge you to jump on. That's the thing about it, right? Why are you charging me to do an interview? Like you're interviewing me, or I'm interviewing you. It's an interview. I have 9 times out of 10. No, let me just keep it all the way real. 10 times out of 10, these people who are asking me for money to get on their podcast, I have more followers than you. Okay, you're still at 25 followers, which means you're not doing well with your platform. Okay, that's what happens, man. You out here treating children of God wrong. That's what's gonna happen. God's gonna hit you where it hurts. Okay, in your following list. All right, you wonder why you ain't successful and everything else like that, because you out here are doing stuff for greed and everything else. You like one of my scriptures. I typically, when people ask me, give me, any life advice or something that has helped keep you going along the way with other people as well. One of them is, what is the profit of man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? So many of these people try to lose their soul in the process of making it. And that's the thing, you can never, ever do that. You have to still stay humble no matter what. So yeah, like I said, with all that being said, it's one of those things where I, for one, make sure that I stay humble in a sense. I am not going to charge you to come. Even when I become bigger than where I'm at now, you want to come on my show, you just come on the show. That is it. Now, if you ain't got no type of talent, all right, you literally, sound like Magoo. There's an old school rapper for you. Okay. Silk the Shocker, who was rapping off beat. Okay, JJ Icefish for all the young ones out there. Then bro, run me some money. Okay, I need some gas money for my I used to want a Hummer, right? And then I ended up like being in one. I'm like, bro, I don't even want a Hummer. I already know my dream car. Something simple, okay? It's gonna run on regular, and everything else. But like I said, people should not. And then on top of that, right? I had a conversation with somebody, and this is when I first really started gaining my following on social media, and I realized it's a lot of male groupies out there. I never realized that. I thought it was only female groupies, but it's a lot of male groupies.
Oh yeah, come on.
And I remember, like I told you guys earlier in the conversation, how, one of my crushes is the game and Nelly. And I remember having a conversation with somebody who claims, in quotation marks, that they know the game. And he said, his words were, well, how much money you got? Because, people be funny and like, he gonna want some money. And I said, and in my mind, I said, okay, First off, you probably are the one who wants some money. You don't know this man. Pete, just because you got newsflash, just because you take a picture with a celebrity doesn't mean that you know them. I'm gonna give y'all a prime example. Young Thug, rapper Young Thug, came to one of my previous jobs and I helped him shop for him and his football league of kids. Okay. And we talked for 45. I always wonder, it always amazes me that like a lot of these men who have a whole bunch of kids, I'm like, are you trying to be a rapper? Like, why is that always typically the goal? Either you try to be some type of basketball player or a rapper. Like,
they're on the way to becoming someone else.
You know what else is funny? It's always funny to me. However, you ask somebody, say, "Hey, how many kids you got on your mama's side?" They'll be like 2, and they're like, "How many on your daddy's side?" 50. It's always funny to me like that. But with that being said, even with me talking to Young Thug and shooting the breeze with him for like 45 minutes, we exchanged names and all. I don't know that man. He's not gonna probably remember me. That was 2017. So with that being said, I had to learn that and then on top of that, if you have real M's in your bank account, why would you want to charge someone who's on their up and coming grind for an interview? If you have real talent, why are you charging someone for an interview? And that to me is like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I'll tell you this one last story. I had a podcaster who I was going to get on with it. He has said, this is what had bothered me. He was asking me getting to know me questions. And then he brought out the whole, well, just to let you know, this is my rates to get on my podcast. And I'm like, well, why did you not just up it? Because he wanted me to listen to his podcast. He wanted me to do all of this, that, and the third. And I said, why did you just not let me know up front that these are my rates? And then if you want to proceed, then listen to the podcast. Then I'm going to get to know you, all of that type of stuff. Right.
Exactly.
And he basically had told me, well, it used to be a time. He said, if you would have caught me a couple years ago, I definitely would have allowed you to, do it for free. It used to be a time for me where I was doing stuff for free, but now I put so much hard work into my podcast that I need to be reimbursed. Wait, what you think that this is some type of tax credit? You come on now.
Reimbursed, huh? God.
Like he needs a receipt for all this so he can go and turn it into the government.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that crap.
Yeah, no, Kendra, oh man, it's a crazy world out there, right? It's a crazy world. Yeah, I agree with you. You should never charge someone to get on the podcast, man. This is a mutual thing here where you're both coming and you're helping each other out. You're building each other up, man. It's you're coming on my platform because I want to know about you, and vice versa. It's a mutual thing. I wanted to ask you, tell a little Fetty Wap story that you that one was good. Talking about greed.
You know what? I used to get excited when I would have celebrities come to my kiosk because in my mind that meant money. But when you on TV shows like Lies and Hip Hop, when you on Unsung, when you end up being on Jerry Springer, when you end up being on these shows where you gotta exploit your life, you ain't got no money. Will people ever see Ludacris doing a reality TV show? No. And Ludacris has his own plane. He has his own plane. Back to the story. I ain't seen that man. Back to the story. Fetty Wap came to my kiosk one day, and I remember I said, "Okay, Kendra, keep it cool."
Now, was this in a mall or
no? I worked at the airport. So everybody come see me. Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta, Concourse B as in Bravo 09. I'm at a kiosk. I'm there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, late morning to early evening. Come leave me a tip. I'm not talking about your penis or strap on, ladies. I'm talking about pocket change. Back to the story. Because change does add up. Okay, I take it to Coinstar every 2 weeks faithfully. So Fetty Wap came to my kiosk and I'm sitting here. I made the man laugh. I had a 3-minute conversation with him. I'm like, oh wow, he's really handsome in real life. No homo pause. He's really handsome. I'm like, he's tall. Okay, I see why you got 35 kids. Okay, brother, it's better be number 36. Would you play with me? There's a family restroom right there. But then when he had paid, the change left was 14 cents. And he said, you can keep the change. And my eyes started twitching. It started twitching. And I acted like I didn't know who this Negro was. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. People want to say maybe because he had the one eye, he couldn't see. No. He had a wallet full of money. He could have, I think I saw 20 in there, could have just given it to me. But you know what? Chili came to my kiosk as well. Chili from TLC came to my kiosk. She left me nothing. She left me her receipt. That was it. And I said, that's why her son looks like a lesbian. And I'm serious when I say that, man. You don't, I mean, but here's the thing. And people have said Chili does not tip anyway. Lil Scrappy came to my kiosk, the rapper as well. He came to my kiosk. We talked about God, all that type of stuff. And he left me nothing. And I'm like, that's why he was in coach. He was the last person to get on his flight. I'm just saying, man, you get all those, you know what's so funny, man? People get all these tattoos, people get all these, like you come on now, what come on.
Yeah.
You should here's my thing, right? There was a time before I started working in the service industry, I was that person to not leave a tip. But since I worked in the service industry, I leave a very great tip. That's what I do. I try not to be that black person or whatever right there. And also I know that there are some black people who do leave tips. There are white people who don't leave tips. There are some people out there who have good, like I don't believe the stereotype, you know, but I'm telling you, I will say this, I work on the Delta side, like I said, and I have 85% of white people come to my kiosk, 10% blacks and 5% others. Out of that 10% black, I have 2% who will actually leave me a tip. Out of the 85%, and that's not good. Out of the 85% white, I have 75% of them who will leave me a tip. The other 1% who will leave me a tip. You know, when I start speaking some Espanol to them, a little what I do know, you know, they see me trying, they're like, you know what, we're going to give her a couple dollars because she tried. And I'm like, hasta luego, gracias, you know, all that type of stuff. So that's pretty much what it is. Like, you know, but to me, it's like, my thing is this, right? And again, I have a sister of mine who has she's like, you know, you shouldn't like receive no tips. You already get an hourly wage. Like that's your job. You got people who think like that, right? And it's okay. That's how they think. You know, it's not okay, but that's how they think. You know, but what I try to do is I just try to do my part, you know, and again, it adds up. And one day my tip money is going to be able to buy me a house. But the way that this economy is, I'm still going to be in this Section 8 neighborhood, you know. So I'm trying to make it out.
The way things are going, I hear you. With this economy, like you said, you know, but as a comedian, Kendra, were you always kind of like the outgoing spirit when you were young? I mean, when you were a school age kid back in the day, you know, was that always you, or in middle school, were you always kind of the, you know, that outgoing, or did that something is that something that came on later on for yourself?
I've always been an outgoing person. I'm an enigma, you know, and so I definitely am the only one in my immediate family and extended family who more than likely has this personality. I mean, I don't fool my extended family. They relatives, not family no more. Okay. So I pretty much am, I'm just being me. I literally have so much of my free spiritedness that I like to just go ahead and spew out to whomever I can. I'll give you a prime example. I like, you know, if we become cool enough, I'm gonna lick your neck and I'm gonna run off. But you have to be single. Yes, you have to be single. Some of these people, I have to start asking, are you in a relationship, or does somebody think that they're in a relationship with you? Those are two totally different questions. Okay. And so with that being said, you know, that's what I do. And I'm like, hey, I run away, you know, and I just keep it moving, and that's it, man. That's what I do. That's what I do, you know. But yeah, I've always been this outgoing, and I always laugh at my jokes and everything else like that.
Yeah, no, that's you know, because I would imagine that you were, you know, you've always been like that, you know, just funny and outgoing and super friendly and
yeah, so, my mama didn't like it. She's like, you talk too much, you're so friendly. And I'm like, that's why you look like a backwards question mark.
I love that. So with the Kendra Crump show, you know, you launched it in 2019. And how many episodes have you done thus far with your own podcast?
Ooh, it might be like 85, maybe. Let me go check real quick. Okay. It might be 85 or so, because typically, like I say, it was a time in my life where I literally did not post for a period of time because I was like like Lance was not with me, and I really was hoping that I could end up having him. I think it's like 85, 90 or so. It doesn't actually say, you know, on the app or so. But like, you know, Lance wasn't with me. So I went from one co-host podcast to the next co-host, you know, and the next. But then again, some of these people weren't showing up. I mean, I wasn't paying them, so they didn't have to, but it would have been nice, you know.
Yeah. And so with that, you know, how many of those podcast episodes, let me ask you, is your podcast mainly do you have guests every episode, or is that kind of a, you know, kind of mix it up a little bit with just, you know, you and your co-host, and then you bring on a guest, you know, every so often, or is each episode you bringing on a guest?
Each episode I pretty much bring on a guest. It's typically my same. I typically have like 2 people who are gonna typically always be reliable to show up. Sometimes it might be 3, but it's and I have other podcasters who come on, you know, to the podcast. If I vibe well with you when we work together, then you can jump on my podcast, you know, and everything else like that. So you're more than welcome to join my podcast at any point, any Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's what I do.
Is that right? Is that when you typically record?
That's the time I record. And you know, it gets released an hour later.
Nice. You said Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern?
9 p.m. Eastern. And what I do is it gets, like I said, it gets released an hour later, and we just typically chop it up for about an hour, maybe hour and a half. I try to do for an hour, but sometimes the conversation gets so good, I got to keep on going. Yeah,
right. I hear you. I've been there. What types of guests do you like to bring on? Like, is there a particular, you know, niche or person that you like to bring on? You know, tell us a little bit about that.
So I just bring on people who are other comedians. Sometimes other podcasters want to do cross promotion off bat. I'm like, okay, well, join at your own risk. It gets a lot more vulgar than your podcast and everything else like that. So that's pretty much what it is. Anybody who is funny, someone who has a real deal talent. I'm like, hey man, get on my podcast. That's pretty much how that goes. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, let me know. I'd love to come on yours. Yeah, any Friday night at 9 p.m. You let me know when you want to come on, and you can come on and you can be introduced to the Kendra Crump show, Pandora's Box, with other podcasters. And, you know, like I said, come at your own risk. Okay. Definitely. Who is there a particular guest that you would love to have on that you haven't had on yet? Well, with entertainers, there are entertainers I would like to get on. I'm trying to, you know, manifest certain people, some like famous inmates, i.e. Larry Hoover, i.e. Jeff Fort, aka Chief Malik, i.e. Suge Knight, Billy D. Williams, Shaka Khan, you know, all the greats, man, all the greats. Yeah, man, that's a great list right there. You just named off like 5 legends, yeah, for sure. Yeah. You know, did you ever see Suge around LA? No, I never did. You know, were you afraid of him like a lot of people were? Watching him on TV and stuff, he's pretty intimidating. He's a scary looking figure, man. Of course he is, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, he was. I'm telling you, man. Suge Knight of the '90s is like the LGBT elemental community of the 2010s. Okay, just scaring folks. Yeah, all that mess. No, I remember when I was in the Navy back in the heyday, right? Thank you for your service. Thank you. No, you're welcome. In the mid '90s, back in the day when he was doing his thing with Tupac and Death Row and all that, and man, I was just watching him from afar. It was just like, damn, he ain't playing, man. That dude, and he's a big dude. He's probably like, I think, 6'5" or something, ex-football player and stuff. But exactly, man. But I want to kind of switch it up a little bit, Kendra. Speaking of Atlanta, Atlanta's become like this, like a hub, man. Like almost like Hollywood East or something, man. It's you got a lot of production out there. You got it's a hotbed for talent, comedy, motion pictures, a lot going on with there, especially with Tyler Perry and what he's done out there. Tell us a little bit about that. You're living there.
Have you noticed that a difference in that particular area of entertainment, where it's just like, things are growing, things are, really, visible when it comes to the world of entertainment out there?
I haven't noticed as much because I am honestly just going to work, coming home and doing boring adult activities. I do know a lot of people do move down here to start their life up, which I'm like, I don't know why, because we don't have, weed is not legal. There's not a actual beach, lake. You know, you got a cop on every corner. And the nice places that we like, Lenox Mall, or places that were once at prestige echelons and all that good stuff, they're getting shot up. I'm like, we're not going there. So yeah, like I said, a lot of people do move down here to start their career up. But my only thing is this, right? Like, for example, all the people who are like lash technicians, if everybody's lash technician, who's keeping y'all in business? That's all I'll say about that.
Oh man, because I think Tyler Perry has his studios out there, right?
Yeah, it's over in the hood.
It's in
Be
the
careful,
hood, huh?
go at your own risk, have a bulletproof vest.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Yeah. No, that's but yeah, I've noticed that Atlanta's kind of going in that direction. There's a lot going on out there when it comes to, movie production and stuff like that. What about you, Kendra? What is how big do you, I mean, I'm just like, I don't even know where to, you have so much going on, you know. What is your ultimate goal, Kendra? I mean, I know you want to scale this up, but what do you envision, as your ultimate goal? Tell us a little bit about that. Give us a glimpse of Kendra's vision.
My vision is to have my own radio and television show.
Mm-hmm.
My other vision is to have my books on the New York's bestsellers times list. Okay, vision C is to be a minister. Vision D is to be get my PhD in child psychology. And vision E is to, that's really it. Those four things.
Wow.
Those four things.
No, I love it. I love it. What a PhD in child psychology. Mm-hmm. Love it. Because you have a bachelor's in mass communication.
Yes, as you can see right there.
I saw it. Clark Atlanta University.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out.
Shout out to, I try to support Black-owned businesses, but I still end up coming out with the short end of the stick, $40,000 for tuition. What type of bull crap is that? Come on now. Yeah. But whatever, you know what? I should have done my schooling over in Switzerland. It was free.
Yeah, I know.
Free.
Exactly. No, I'm right there with you. I got a master's degree.
Did the Navy not pay for your student loans?
Well, I had the GI, what's called the GI Bill, coming out of the Navy, so that and then I got a football scholarship.
Okay.
So I was cool, and then I decided to go back to school and get a master's, and that's where I had to do the whole student loan thing. And yeah, you know how that goes.
I thought, okay, so basically if you would have still stayed in the Navy, they would have paid for that as well. But once you came out, that's how they get you. Like, hey, don't you want to travel the world? Don't you want to meet great people and learn multiple languages and try food? Come join us. And then you join them and you're like, bro, why in the hay did I join y'all? Okay, nice. That's a story for another day.
Well, you know what Navy stands for, right?
Oh, wait, never again. What is it?
You're close. You got the first two letters right.
Never again. I don't know what it was. VY.
Volunteer yourself. Never again volunteer.
Okay. Yourself. So let me ask you something. I typically ask this question. Well, really, this question can be to anybody of color, or just anybody out there. But Furious Styles, you know who Furious Styles is, right?
Boys in the Hood.
Okay, cool. So he said a black man has no place in a white man's army.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree or disagree?
Oh my gosh, that is a
loaded question.
That's a loaded question right now, but I think it comes down to the individuals. I mean, I see where he's coming from. I see where he's coming from, but it comes down to the individual. What is that individual's trying to do with his or her life?
Mm-hmm.
When if you're gonna make it a racial thing, then to me that's you know, I get it, but again, it comes down to the individual. What's that person going through in life? What are his circumstances? What's his background? You know, what's his financial situation? You know, is he trying to serve his country? And you know, I think there's many variables to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
of course, and that's it. Like anybody, you know, and I've heard a lot of African Americans will say that they agree with that because a lot of racism happens.
Yeah.
A lot of politics that happen. They want to try to last the full 25 years, but they can't even do it because it's like, oh, you know, they need to go home to their family or whatever it might be. Like it's a lot that goes on. And I thought about, you know, enlisting myself, but then I realized that I don't like getting yelled at. So I said, yeah, this ain't gonna be for me. I'm cool.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, I hear you. So, it's a different world. It's a whole different world. You know, the military. It's just, again, you know, I think it comes down to the individual. You know, but I get it. Imperial Styles, Lawrence Fishburne. You know, what he was, the message he was trying to convey. You know, John Singleton, rest in peace. I know he wrote that movie.
He's probably was one of my favorite filmmakers out of a lot of the other Black filmmakers. Spike Lee's movies were hit or miss. Tyler Perry, I'm just gonna keep it real with you. After a few movies, it's like y'all, he's profiting. This is what, and I'm about to get very deep with you, okay? And you got to probably, you know, I'm gonna get deep, and then you know I'm gonna do my little spill for a few minutes, and y'all can debate how y'all want to debate about it. Oftentimes, it really is people who go and like, again, I got two of my favorites, two Tyler Perry films that I can say are my favorite, and I got one play that I like by him. But once you keep watching it, it's like you're making money off of stereotypes, the stereotypical, like, you know, Black household, and it's predictable, and people are still going to support that. And to me, it's like, that's the issue I have with it. You know, why are you supporting this? Number one, at what point is it not going to be funny seeing a man be in a dress? Like Flip Wilson started that, right? You know, and of course, a lot of people, you know, had loved the show Martin because you don't see one of us that often on a televised network, right? But there are some things that are not funny in Martin. Like, I never liked Snot-Nosed Rodney. There's nothing funny about a kid with snot on his face talking back to an adult. What's funny about that? There was a scene when Gina and Martin and the rest of the gang had eloped because this was a church scene where Gina's family and Martin's family came together. They could not stop arguing. So Martin left them a note. And then Mama Payne got upset. So she just started running around the room. She started biting pieces of arms off and spitting them at people. And you know how they have a laugh recorder? I know for a fact the audience was not laughing that long. That wasn't funny to me. So like I said, man, it to me, keeping it real with you, there are some things that are just not funny. I can't deal with it. It's like some things that honestly should be banned. But again, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you hating? You are homophobic." No. I never said that. Okay, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's not just some things are not gonna be funny. Like for example, it's a reason why in our neighborhoods you never see Black people running our neighborhoods. It's always somebody of another ethnicity running the neighborhood. Why is that Black? And I made this post for the Red Light Special for this week, talking about how, you know, Balenciaga shoes is Skechers. They stole Skechers' whole style.
I heard that. Yeah, I watched that.
And y'all are paying bands for this. Same thing with, I'm gonna give y'all a real example, okay? You ain't never gonna see Tom Brady, who's very wealthy. You're never gonna see him wearing Balenciaga. I guarantee you Tom Brady's not wearing Balenciaga. He's probably not going to carry Louis Vuitton duffel bags. For all the Black ones, for all the ones that don't know, Black folks, Louis Vuitton, the Italian folks, they don't give a damn about us, but y'all are wearing their clothing. Michael Jordan does not care about Black folks, and you guys are still out killing each other for their shoes. Now, this is before my time. The starter jacket. You remember the starter jacket?
Oh, yeah.
People kill people over the starter jacket, man.
Yeah, I know. Back in the day, in the 80s, 90s. Yeah, no, I hear you, Kendra. There's some stuff going on out there, man. It's
And
unfortunate.
that's what, again, nobody wants to have these type of conversations. Nobody wants to be this real, because that being this real and being this open and transparent, it makes you look at yourself and be like, well, damn, I really am dumb. Like I said, I remember, I'll give you a prime example, right? One of my favorite scriptures is, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed and renewed in the mind, and with that being said, I personally try not to conform to what the world, like AirPods. I remember one time I ended up finally getting some AirPods, and I thought I was, all that. And I'm like, bro, I don't even care for the AirPods. Like, I got them somewhere in my room, but like, I don't even use them, I really, was thought that the AirPods brought me power. I remember I used to babysit, and this one woman had plenty of Louis Vuitton bags in her room, and people are gonna say, well, you can still you can do whatever you want with your money. You're right, but why not actually buy land? Why not buy something that actually is of meaning to you, right?
Yeah.
So and she was living in apartments, like, in an okay neighborhood. But I remember we bartered, and she allowed me to carry her Louis Vuitton bag for a couple of weeks, and I felt like, yes, I'm all that and everything else like that. And then I look back, and I'm like, Kendra, it didn't bring you no type of validation. Like, you really still, like it made no sense at all. So like I said, for me personally, I just want, the people to wake up, man, and just realize, like, you guys it's all a trend. It's all a trend. Like Kanye, he has some shoes, one of his pairs of shoes, they are in the same replica of slave shoes, but people are wearing it, But hey, what do I know? I'm just gonna stop you right there. That's all I'm gonna say.
I hear you, Kendra. I mean, we live in a day and age, now, we got cancel culture, you got censorship, you got all this crap going on, Instagram's censoring, what happened to, freedom of speech? What happened to the First Amendment? It's just like, it's really sad what's going on, man. It's unfortunate, but yeah, no, you're hitting some really, valid points. I mean, gosh,
No, again, I can get very deep with you.
Yeah.
But I just try to just, I just observe and not say nothing, because at the end of the day, people still gonna do what they want to do. People gonna get upset with me for speaking the truth. I'm gonna get called a female dog, and that is fine with me, because it's not what you call, is what you answer to. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's true. That's true. No, but what Kendra, what are some of your goals here in the immediate future? Maybe, the next 3 to 6 months. What do you want to do with the podcast? What about live performances? Stand-up comedy, stuff like that. What are some things you could tell us about? Maybe some upcoming projects that you got coming, things like that.
All right, so my ADHD just kicked in again, and I got to remember what you asked. So I'm going to answer them as best what I can remember. So near future, we're going back to school in January. So I'm going to be on the road to get my PhD. We're going to keep doing podcasts. Might not be as many because, school PhD matters a little bit more than podcasts, because I'm not getting paid for it. So yes, I am trying to get a Netflix special one day. I am trying to in due time get a house. I am trying to run across a seemingly decent man who follows the rules on my list. I am just going to continue, just being me. The end.
Yeah, no, you mentioned the Netflix special. Talk about that a little bit. Tell us, what are your goals there? I mean, with the Netflix.
I can have a 15-minute Netflix special where I'm just going off the handle, and don't have to be long, or I can just keep on talking for as long as I want to keep on talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and you're going back to school. Are you going back to Clark, Atlanta? Or?
Oh, of course not. I just said I try to support Black-owned business, and this is what happened: $40,000. Now I'm going to go to Georgia State this time, and I can finish Georgia State with everything. Go get my my master's and PhD in the end. with that.
Wow. Yeah, that's so you got a lot going on, Kendra.
Yeah, we're gonna tackle one thing at a time. Right now, school, and traveling to 5 more states that I have either I've been to or I've never been to.
Nice.
You know.
Nice. Now you're gonna keep the game, or Nelly, both, or are you gonna dump one?
Well, we're going. So this is what I'm gonna do. Right, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and the first and third Sunday is me and Game. Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and the second and fourth Sunday is me and Nelly. So I mean, and again, we don't have to sit here and have relations every day. We could just sit here and be like, go to the park and shoot some hoops with each other and get in the booth and rap. We can all do a rap, thing together. That would be amazing, man. Like, I'm not gonna be the first person doing a poly relationship with these two. Man, that's beautiful. my little cooter cat gonna be worn out.
Oh my goodness. Who are some of your favorite comedians now, the stand-up comedians, female or male?
I'll do 5 male, 2 female. Of all time, I'm going to exclude Kevin Hart, Bernie Mac, Chappelle, and Pryor. And I'm gonna go with Arnaz J, Carlos Miller, Cedric, Steve Harvey, and Chris Rock.
Oh man, that's a good list. What about Eddie Murphy? How do you feel about Eddie Murphy?
I have to go back and listen to him. Oh, and I like comedian Miss Pat and Wanda Sykes.
Yeah, and love them. I don't know if you're younger than I am. You may have seen some past episodes of Def Comedy Jam back in the early 90s, with Russell Simmons and hosting or not hosting. It was the Russell Simmons Def Comedy Jam hosted by Martin Lawrence. That was like every Friday night, man. I mean, the who's who of Chris Tucker was on there. Small Fry, Bernie Mac. I mean, you name it. Eddie Griffin.
Mike Epps made it on there.
Mike Epps.
Yeah, it's the list. Yeah, the real. Yeah, Eddie Griffin. I feel like he made it on there.
Bill Bellamy was on there. Jamie Foxx might have been on there.
Some of the people, Samore was on there. Thea Vidal, I believe she was on there as well.
That sounds familiar.
Thea Vidal. She had a show called Thea.
Thea? Okay.
Back in the 90s.
Yeah. But no, I'm just mentioning that, that was a
what a time to have been alive.
Yeah, I was in high school and we used to watch that show religiously, man. And, what's one little known fact about Kendra Crump?
I'm flexible.
You're like
not like contortionist, but I'm working on it. But I'm flexible enough to almost make it to a contortionist.
Oh, okay. You do the splits, yoga, and all that? Or what?
Yeah, I do that. I do. It's like I'm gonna start back again tomorrow. And yeah, I actually YouTube University, man, will teach you how to do everything. Like I learned how to break and enter.
Breaking what?
Break and enter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing you can't learn on YouTube, right?
That's true.
Absolutely. And what brings calm to your stress when you want to just chill out? And how does Kendra relieve herself from stress?
Going to God. God is the ultimate stress reliever.
Who are 5 people, Kendra, influences in your life, mentors, who you'd love to sit down with and have dinner with? It could be dead or alive, anybody, friends, family, celebrities, people you never met, people that influenced your life.
I'm going to say number 1 is Joe Clark. Rest in peace to him. Number 2, Dr. Sebi. Okay. Number 3, Jesus Christ, when he was roaming the earth 3,000 plus years ago.
Good one.
Number 4 is definitely, I like Tupac. Tupac seemed very. No, let me replace him with Adam Sandler.
Is that right?
Let me replace Tupac with Adam Sandler. I'll go with him.
Okay.
And number five, definitely. I gotta think on number five. Like number five, it's like I used to have like a Mount Rushmore who I would have, and I'm always like changing them out and everything else like that. But those are the four for right now. I got a real deal think of on number five, because on top of that, I don't want to be disappointed by any of my favorites, any of the people I listed anyway, because people are still human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to end up saying and doing something that makes me disgusted with them.
I get it. No, that's a great list. What any particular reason why you swapped Tupac out with Adam Sandler?
Because Tupac is very controversial, and some of the things that he did and said I didn't always agree with, and Adam is, a funny guy. He literally is just he just seems like a real down to earth type person who you can just hang out with. And one day he was somebody took a picture of him where he had basketball shorts on, a t-shirt, and some probably Walmart shoes, and this man is worth billions. And that's why I like people like him, because he didn't have to like dress like he had money.
That's a good point. I love that. Kendra, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Before we wrap things up, where can the people
number five. Wait, number five is Larry Hoover. I choose Larry Hoover not because he started no. Let me remove, because I tried writing Larry Hoover in prison, but I think he's in solitary confinement because he did something he wasn't supposed to be doing. So we're gonna go with number five is Tookie Williams, because Tookie Williams changed his life around, and I don't know why Arnold Schwarzenegger is still alive. I don't even like the fact that that's his last name. Okay, but anyway, I Arnold Schwarzenegger is still alive, and Tookie Williams is he killed the man. He literally changed his life around, got people out of gangs, and wrote children's books, and he was on the Pulitzer Prize, and he was killed. That's what I'm saying, man. When they want you to kill yourself. I'm like, bro, could have freed the man or left him there where he was at. But yeah, Tookie Williams, rest in peace to him. He definitely is somebody I could have and everything else. But go ahead, go with the last part. I just thought about that.
No, so yeah, Stanley Tookie Williams, definitely, man.
Let me ask you something. Did you go to his funeral? Like, or did you ride by and did you see how big it got and big it was?
No, I didn't. But that was, tell me, when was that about?
2005.
2005, right? Okay.
End of December.
No, that's a great one right there, definitely. No, but yeah, Kendra, again, I want to thank you so much for coming on, taking the time, reaching out. Let's continue to collaborate. I'm going to continue to follow you and see how you progress. Mm-hmm. And yeah, hopefully this is not the last time we collaborate.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. Where can the good people find Kendra Crump? Tell us all the social media, plug your websites, all of that good stuff. Tell us.
Y'all can find me on the corner, but while I'm not on the corner, y'all can find me on Instagram, the Kendra Crump Show. So D as in the, KYN as in Nancy, DRA, CRUM as in Mary, P's and Paul Show. Not with no money, so I'm not no fake ass ASAP Rocky, okay? SHOW. My YouTube is Kendra Crump, KYNDRA space CRUMP, and my podcast is called the Kendra Crump Show Podcast. Make sure you guys follow and subscribe to me off of one of those. That's it.
And there you have it. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Kendra Crump. Go check her out. Go follow her. Check her out on YouTube. You will not be disappointed. She's got a lot of funny content. She is definitely on her way up. This is like probably the 788th episode of a podcast she's been on. So, but yeah, Kendra, I want to thank you so much again, and it's been a pleasure. Like I said, it's going to be fun watching you grow and continue to move on up.
Amen. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. There you have it, Kendra Crump, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for tuning in here on Profile Pod TV, hosted by yours truly, AA. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Leave me a rate review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. It's all Profile Pod TV, Clubhouse, Twitter, all that good stuff. Check out Social Nostra. on Instagram, Roku. We are all over the place, so you cannot miss us. For Kendra Crump, I'm Double A. We will be back next week for another good one. And I'm always reminding you to take it easy.